What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, I want to show you guys a little teaser from what we did this past weekend. We made a trip up to No Prep Kings Norwalk for the Locals Only event. If you guys don't know what that is the Street Outlaws Farm Truck and Asians new sideshow coming out this winter around January, February. We can't show you guys everything we did. We have to wait until the episodes air this winter, but we figured we could put together a little teaser for you guys to get everybody excited. I can't wait for you guys to see the full videos come out this winter, but and the TV episodes, they're going to be awesome. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and we did some really cool things. So here it is. I hope you guys enjoy.
This is the president and vice president of Levi Strauss.
Got baptized by a streetcar. Alright guys, so we're here checking out the damage on Tuesday. It's pretty bad. We got 3 broken connecting rods. We had a piston laying in the pan and we pulled it apart. So it's honestly really hard to tell what happened first, but either it pulled the pin out of the piston, so the connecting rod was coming down and it was trying to pull down, and it pulled the pin right out of the piston, and then that's what started the connecting rod failure, or it broke the rod first. Not really sure. But what I am sure of is that this thing was on a lot of boost and it was seeing more RPM than it ever has, and I think, you know, it was probably making around 1600 horsepower to go the mile an hour that it was at 3,300 pounds. And you know, these weren't top of the line parts by any means. These are all off the shelf parts that anybody can buy, and they're not like, you know, I didn't have $2,000 connecting rods in this thing. I had like $600 connecting rods in this thing. I think on the next one we're going to do a lot better parts in it, and you know, we've learned what the limitations are of the parts that we were using. We did have some exhaust valves hitting some pistons at some point, and it looks pretty fresh. So I'm thinking that was probably on the last run it made, because it's still shiny and it hasn't been darkened up after making runs. You know, originally I thought maybe when it over revved, when it broke the converter, it may have hit the pistons, but like I said, it looks pretty fresh, so that must have been the last pass it made. So that maybe could have contributed to some things too. The heads look repairable. They're not bad at all. You know, quick cleanup on the heads and they'd be just fine. So that's good news. It's not a total loss. The camshaft is probably done for. The block is done for. It leaked water down into the oil pan, so the block is cracked. Yeah, we had a slight issue here. The balancer's loose. That could have been some of our vibration with the converter bolts coming loose, and I mean, who knows? You know, there was a multitude of issues, and it's hard to tell what happened first. But the best thing we can do is just to build it better and stronger for the next time. This engine did me really well. I won a lot of races with it. You know, finding out what we found out near the end there with the wastegates being messed up, I was really happy with it, knowing that it had all this potential that I didn't even know about. And for the longest time, I kind of thought that the carburetor was the limiting factor, or the cylinder head, or maybe the camshaft, but I don't think any of that was a limiting factor. I think we just had some wastegate issues and just little things that, you know, I probably would have found this stuff if I had more data. When you're rolling with a GoPro in the truck aimed at the boost gauge, sometimes you're not going to catch things like that, you know, for a while. And you're just kind of riding by the seat of your pants and how it feels. Yeah, we're going to put the 372 together. I'm going to take the aluminum block, the crank, rods. I've got Cali's Ultra rods for this next one. They're a really, really good rod. We'll put those in it, and hopefully we'll have this thing back together very soon. I have to get it back together by November because there's a huge race coming up. Biggest race we've ever been in. Probably the biggest race we'll ever be in. I want to make sure that the truck is ready for that. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and I'll be taking the 372 to Bob, so that way he can get started on the machine work on it, and I can start O-ringing the block and getting it ready for some boost. So
You want to give us an update on the Nova too?
yeah, so Bob has the engine at the machine shop, and he's been machining it. He did the hone on it, and he balanced the crankshaft just the other day. I think he was wanting to check the bearing clearances, make sure that's all good, and then we can start putting it together. We have everything to start putting it together. But I did tell him that for this season, I'm more concerned with getting the S10 back together for the rest of the year to do this street race that's coming up, rather than put this thing back together and rush it again. I don't want to rush this car, and there's not a whole lot of front side no preps left this year since it's getting cold. The remainder of what we're going to be doing is street racing, and I have more passes on the S10 on the street than any car we have, and I feel a lot more confident with it, you know, being on the street, and especially now taking some weight out of the nose. I think the truck's going to do really, really good on some blacktop, and I have some other plans too to make it work even better. But yeah, the truck showed some promise right before it went. I was really happy with it, and this new motor being a little bit lighter, taking some weight out of it, we've got a really good shot at doing good in November at this next race. Yeah, that balancer is ready to come off. So yeah, had a lot of issues, but it's going to come back a lot stronger.
Where's that chunk at? Where's your oil pan? Hey, maybe you could do another giveaway, the souvenir on the piston.
Yeah, so there's the piston. There's the holes in the pan. I'm really glad I was using a diaper this time, because it would have definitely been a sketchy ride if I got oil on the tires again. Probably would have, because I mean, that's about the same deal that happened to the Nova. That's all it took. So that's the piston, and you know, if you can imagine the connecting rod trying to pull down and the pin coming out, that's kind of my theory on what happened there. I think that's maybe what happened first. I haven't found the wrist pin anywhere. It must be lodged in the block.
Isn't that just crazy?
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a giveaway on that.
Yeah.
The truck's eating many a piston this day. The heads, they look to be pretty good. I mean, this one here, this cylinder, that's not even that bad. I've done way worse than that. And then this one, it got hit on this one a little bit, but nothing too serious. The spark plugs, all the spark plugs we pulled out of it, look beautiful. There was hardly any heat in them. I mean, they had a few passes on the spark plugs, but like the cadmium wasn't even burnt all the way around the base ring of the plug. That's definitely a sign that it was a little on the fat side. So I don't think it was a tune-up issue. I don't think it was really anybody's fault other than just I put a little bit too much boost to the engine, and just maybe didn't have the parts to withstand what I was going to put to it. So everything else looked good though. I mean, can't ask for much more. Alright, got block, rods, crank, pistons, camshaft, intake, heads. They're already assembled. Bob will have the bearings up there. I think that should be everything, other than maybe some hardware that we might need along the way. Oh, I gotta bring back his O-ring tool. Alright.
What's going on?
Howdy, Bob. Brought you some parts.
One video this piece is done.
Christmas came early, Bob. We got all kinds of presents for you.
Presents.
Woo! That one's been run hot.
46. On this part. Absolutely.
Check out these bad boys.
Woo!
Trick flows, 250cc intake runners, 100cc exhaust, 58cc chamber, I think 58 or 54.
Now we're flying.
Yeah. The only thing is I need the intake port matched to them.
What, we'll take them apart, just see what the valve springs are, just make sure we're in the area where we have been. I would like to see what they show on the gauge, so we learn. The other thing is we'll kind of pre-assemble it, and then you can put your intake on there and match it up.
Yeah. Reuse the belt drive off the old motor.
Okay.
I gotta get it off. Kenny's taking it off right now. It's a box inside of a box. Check out these pistons. They came with the buttons.
What's that?
They came with the buttons instead of spiral locks for the pistons. They're supposed to be like a lot easier to put in. I've never used them.
Cool.
Wisecoat pistons. Coated on the skirts.
Cool.
Come with the ring.
Alright.
We got tower, stainless steel rocker arms, shaft rockers, built in with the right offset. Good offset deal.
Cool.
Stands and all that.
Okay.
So those are extra strong. No more Walmart rocker arms.
What were you using before?
It's allowed you to get by.
Yeah. And I never
just
broke one.
allowed you to get by.
I never broke one. It's just, you know, I've been using the same stuff since I've been bracket racing, you know?
And that is the truth.
Changed. All I've done is add a lot of boost. Here's our intake.
Put it on the bottom.
How heavy this thing is.
Is it
A
light?
lot of meat taken out of there.
Alright guys, this is a 300-pound engine block. Billy's gonna show you guys how it's done here.
It's pretty light. Where you want this?
That's an iron Hemi, bud. Billy's just really strong.
Yeah, it's all iron. 300 pounds.
You've been going to the gym, haven't you?
He actually hasn't. We've been slacking.
It's just, you know, when it comes to racing, I'm just real serious about it. There we got main studs.
I got some work to do, you know that?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get up a little earlier in the morning to get here.
Ooh, damn.
I plan on being here like every day for 2 weeks.
Damn.
These old timers, they get up at 4 in the morning.
Dad's gonna love that when he watches this. He's gonna be up out of his chair clapping at the TV.
And then the line board checked on and stuff to where we could set the crank and the rods and pistons in there for a sub-assembly to see what the pitch from the deck is and check the quarters. And then so then if we get that portion of it done, then you can back, put your O-rings in it, do the head, the tail part, put the O-rings in the head, and check all that stuff. And then after we sub-assemble it completely, then we can tear it all back apart, which is not much, and then start going together for the last time.
Yeah. Looks like they leave the sleeves a little high and deck.
So
Looks like,
you may want to do some work on that
yeah,
to help get that oil back.
right.
I mean, I'm wondering if you ought to.
Yeah, I don't
know.
That's an oil. Kind of a weird design.
We'll take Mike and check his lifter bores
Yeah.
and see where, make sure we're good there. So we don't, you know.
Get to know it real well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a whole lot of people running them, but I know they're out there. They make good power. And Tommy's block was a Speedmaster, and it held up just fine.
But you will be pumping on it.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to be pumping it as hard as the last one because I'll be more focused on street racing it, but you know, there are those occasions where it's going to get turned up.
The house is still there.
I just got to get it ready for
Yep.
November. So.
And plus, not only got to get it ready, but got to get it in and test it.
Yeah.
So.
Hit it hard.
So get that stuff downloaded. I got a block and a tank. I'll try and get it home tomorrow and get that one over there to it so we can get the sizes, so then you can move it to the engine stand and
Start like, you know, doing a trial assembly.
yep, laying it out.
So another little thing we found on the big block, pistons were hitting the heads on every single chamber here. They've got little indentations. So that was another thing that wasn't very good.
Is your pistons?
Yeah, so that's where they were hitting right there. That's supposed to be flat. Right in here. Oh, that little divot. Bought an all new set of rods just because it nicked a couple of them. Nicked this one right here, and the Mallory came out.
Just to be clear, that is not a
No, that was the last engine builder deal.
yeah.
I think everybody knows that on the big block. We don't have any problems here.
Oh, this is Mrs. Pac-Man. Whoa. She looks like handsome Squidward.
Donkey Kong.
You gotta go OG Pac-Man. Yeah. What happens if you beat Pac-Man? Never beat it. Uh-oh. Oh, damn, you suck. Oh my! Go, go, go! Let's go for it. Go! No! Oh! You won. Before we get into today's video, I'm just gonna restart. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today, take 3. What's going on, everybody? Wide show on Street Outlaws called The Locals Only. Don't like that. So yeah, I'm gonna put this little teaser together for what's to come. God damn, you fucking suck. Alright, this is the last take. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Too fast.
Your papa loves you, beaches. I love you.
For sure. Something wrong here.
I got a couple.
Chevy.